Hello crafters, I'm Jan B and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this birthday card which I posted to my blog today. I've used two techniques here which new card makers may not have seen before. One of them is called two-step stamping, which I'll explain as we go along, and the other one is masking, which is how you get the leaves to go behind the flowers. I've also made this one today, and on this one I made one of the bees to go behind the flowers as well. So this is what I'm going to do now. I've changed my sentiment on this one. This one was the birthday card, but I'm going to use this sentiment, and I'm going to change my colour scheme as well. So to start off with, I'm going to tell you the card pieces that you need. And the card base should measure, it's Whisper White cardstock, and it should measure 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, which is 21 by 14.5 centimetres. And then you need 2 layers of, what's this, Rose Red, which is one of our retiring colours at the end of this month. And this measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. These two are for lining inside the card, these two are at the top of the card. And you'll also need 2 pieces of Whisper White, which measure 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 9.7 by 13.7 centimetres. Now I just want to explain to you about Stampin' Up and the two-step stamping sets. The way Stampin' Up do it, this is actually a 3-step stamp set. So when they do the pictures on the front here, they will do the stamps that work together, so that the flower, that's the outline one, and they're the 2 for colouring it. For the leaves, that's the outline, and they're the 2 for colouring. The butterfly, that's the outline and 2 colouring. And the bee, he's only got 1 colour, okay, but those are the 2 for that. And for this little flower here, it has these 2 to go with it. And then for those little leaves there, that's got 1 as well. Okay, so that's the first bit that Stampin' Up do to help you. And then the second bit they do, now I'm going to show you on the large flower stamp. The stamps have all got arrows on them, so you know that if you stamp this one down with the arrow going up, you've got to put this one on top of it with the arrow going up, and likewise with the arrow going up you need to stamp that direction. So if you decided you wanted that to go that way, you'd have to turn these round so the arrows are all going in the same direction. Can't get much easier than that, can it? And that applies with all the stamps in this set. The set is called Garden in Bloom. Unfortunately it's retiring on the 31st of May 2018, which is why I'm just giving it a little last run before it's gone. So we're going to need the 2 white pieces of cardstock, and we're going to do our stamping. To do masking, what you need to do is you need to take a piece of post-it note. Let's do this. I'm going to do the bee, okay, and that is the sticky bit. So you take the bee and you stamp it onto a post-it note. And make it go on the sticky bit. Now when I'm cutting this out, I'm going to ignore the antennae and also the stinger. I'm just going to cut those straight off. You'll see why. And this isn't too difficult to cut out, but you do also need, to make my card, you also need 2 masks of the flower, which I've already prepared. I do already have 2 post-it notes for the flowers, but because I've used them several times today already, they are beginning to get a little bit damp, and when that happens the colour starts transferring through. What I will do with those is I will save them, because once they're dry then I can start using them again, but not too much, rather than run the risk of something going wrong while I'm videoing. I thought I'd quickly make 2 new ones. I will then save all 4 of them. Okay, so as I've cut that out, I haven't left any green around the outside. If anything, I've left black bits on there. Okay, so that's my bee. Right, let's get rid of that bit stuck down. So the first thing I need to do is to stamp my bee on here and decide where I want him to go. Where did I put my 2 cards? Here they are. Okay, so if I leave those there, the pink one without the bee, I have to move up a bit, and this one with the bee. So what I don't want is, I don't want the bee colliding with the pollen, otherwise it's going to be difficult to see one from the other. I think it's quite a good idea that he's coming out there so he can be seen, so that's what I'm aiming for, but obviously until I've done my flowers I don't know where the best place is going to be, so I'm just guessing. And guessing it, I would say that is probably about 1.25 inches up, and both directions actually, I would say. So with this in mind, I'm going to come over, I'm going to pop it about there. Now it doesn't matter which direction he's in, he could be flying in or flying out. Okay, so that's fine. Next is to stamp the flowers, so I still need the basic grey Archival ink. So let me just cover up my bee. You see, when I stamp the flower, it'll go over the lines of his antennae or his stinger, so I don't need a post-it note to cover that up. So if I take my flower first, and what I'm going to do, I am going to do my flower, so I think I'm going to have it so that my arrow is going to be going west. Then I have to remember to do all of those going west as well. So grey. Now I've got a fan going up on the ceiling because the weather here is absolutely fabulous, and I have to work quickly because it's drying the ink up. So I said west, didn't I? And how is this going to work? I'm just going to have a quick look to see how it's going to fit in with my bee. That would be quite nice like that, wouldn't it? But I've got to bring it down because I want it to go off a bit. Right, I need a scrap bit of paper. So let me just explain to you what I'm doing. I'm working out where my stamp is going to go on here, and I want it to go over the bee to a certain extent. Equally, I want the petals here to be coming off the edge. I don't want it to be right in there, but equally I don't want it too far off. Now if I turn it like that, then my arrow is going sort of, what do you call that, north west, I suppose. So that's how I'm going to do that. Right, no messing about, just go for it while you've still got, oops, no, sorry. One other thing I am going to do is, never done this before, so I hope it works as well as everybody says it does. I'm using a piercing mat underneath here because it's photopolymer stamps. I don't believe you need it majority of the time, but occasionally you do, and because I'm doing masking and two-step stamping, it's important that my stamping is correct. Okay, so I've decided I'm going to go like that. The arrow is coming up to the back of his neck on the bottom side. Right, okay, up to his neck, bottom side. Okay, so that's okay. So now leaving the bee there, he hasn't really gone underneath as much as I would have liked, but you still better see it when with his wing. And I might do the leaf there as well, so he's on top of the leaf. So I'm going to do this complete flower first before I move on to the next one. So first of all, the top colour is this one, and let's get rid of this first. Let's move that card out of the way because I need to stamp off. Now what are you able to see? Right, you can see that. I can bring that down a bit towards me, and I want to leave that so that you can see it. Okay, so I can do my stamping off there. Right, you can see that. Okay, right, rose red. And as I say, I'm going to stamp this off once. So that's how it's going to go there. So you just line your colour up inside the lines, and it's quite easy to do because you can see right the way through here. Beautiful colour, isn't it? So that's that one. Then I need this, and that's got to go off in that direction. That's not quite right. Should it go off like that? No, that's more correct, I think, as long as it's all on. As long as each of those 4 coloured bits go onto petals, it's going to look good. Yes. So that's that one. Now I'm going to leave the bee there, and I'm going to cover this flower so that I can move on to do the next one. So this is one of my new flowers, and with the lines on here it's quite easy normally to see where, there we go, there's a dip there, so you see the dip there as well, so that's going to line up like that. So now whatever I do with the next flower, it's not going to interfere with this one. Where's my tweezers? Life is just so much easier with these. That's it. Grey. I better keep closing these as I go along, otherwise that fan's going to dry them all off. Right, now this doesn't matter which way I go as long as I remember. So this one, do we want to cover that bee up a bit? I don't think we can reach, can we? We could do. Okay, I'm going to go west on this with my arrow so that I can just about come down on top of that bee. Again, making sure that the petals are coming off. That's good. No, just touching on here. So that's okay. So now I'm going to colour this one. It's not so easy to see on that. That one. Yes, west. Right, nice stamp off on this one as well first. West. As you're working like this with masks and things, you look at your card and you think, my goodness, it doesn't look like anything on earth. But once you take the masks off and it reveals what you've done, it's lovely. Right, so just get that one lined up. Whoops, there we go. Shall we do the leaves next before we move on? No, let's finish flowers first. So that one can stay. That one doesn't matter. We do this one. I think I have done this every which way possible, because this is actually the 4th card that I've done. Right, now on here, still this, yeah. I have come off quite a long way here. So shall we go? No, they're the fuller ones. Let's go north. Go on the bee again. Look at that. Poor chap. Right, okay. I'm going to put that petal into that gap there. So the outline stamp first. There we go. So then we want the first pink stamp. I'm getting distracted by the bit that's on the paper underneath. Yep, okay. Is that right? Did I say north? South, I mean? No, I didn't, did I? I said north. That didn't look right. Let's try that again. Oh, much better. Look at that. You see, I've used photopolymer onto a piercing mat, but it still hasn't stamped very well on that bit there. Right, let's try the lighter, the smaller one. That's okay. Right, now we want some leaves, so that's going to be grey. Now I'm not going to do any leaves on this one because the B is straight there, or shall I? I used to be indecisive, but now I'm not so sure. Right, I think leaves, not flowers. How would that go? Well, you wouldn't really see that one. Well, you would, because it would go over that, wouldn't it? Right, let's cover this one up as well. Good, that's good. And then we can do this one. Okay. And then we just need one for here. So, oh no, let's do our colouring first. Otherwise we're going to be swapping the masks backwards and forwards. Right, I'm using wild wasabi. I'm not stamping off. Just going to go straight down. And then this one. Going to be interesting to see what the bee looks like here. And now we need the little green one. This one first. And then this one. Right. Let's move that one so you get a peek of what that one looks like. Oh my goodness me. Oh, we're going to have to find something to cover that one up. Right, that's got to go there. Where do we want our leaves to go? There, I think. Right, let's put that one away and get the grey. And now we're going to colour the leaves. First of all, solid. And then the small solid. I think part of the reason why this isn't stamping perfectly is because it's got the mask there and therefore there's a ridge going from here onto there. But fortunately, as it's what I call a rough sketch, with all the the lines aren't smooth and forming nicely, it really doesn't matter. Let's have a look, see whether it does or not, apart from the splodge. There we go. It's lovely. So I'll save those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour the centre of my flowers, because this is the pollen. So this is Daffodil Delight. I think I did all that bit as well. No right and wrong with it, whatever you think is part of the pollen. Now it's still very sketchy, so that's good. And I do my bee with crushed curry, and I do a darker yellow because I just want him to look different from the pollen. There we go. Right, now I'm going to put 2 more bees in there. I can't cover up the splodge with it, I'm afraid, otherwise they'll be too close to each other. But I will have one here, and I will have one near the top here as well. And I will colour their bodies. Not with that end, I won't. And always do their wings with Wing of Stella. I mean, really, you can't do a colour for wings, but get the shimmer from Wing of Stella. But when you're doing this, make sure you don't let your brush actually touch the yellow, because it will start painting the yellow everywhere. It will drag it over. You could actually do the whole bee if you wanted, but do the wings first and then do the body. It won't matter if you spread the yellow around the body. There we go. So now I need my sentiment. I'm certainly not using that mat for doing my sentiment, but what I will do is, because I need as much help as I can get with straight lines, put that there for the time being. How low can I get? About there, and you can still see me. Right, make sure that's straight. There we go. Very wonky by the looks of things. Well, maybe not very wonky. Anyway, that's fine. Now I need to do the inside of my card. So if I get the other piece, here we go. No, not that. Here's my other piece. Did I bring it out? Yes, I did. Right, so what do I need? Let's bring the mat back. At least I'm giving it a fair try. Now I just want the flower to come off the edge. I'll show you. Okay, so it's coming off the edge 3 places. Right, okay, so I'm going to go west. I said that was west earlier, didn't I? I have absolutely no sense of direction. I'm just as hopeless with left and right as well. When we're driving together, when we're in the car together, not driving together, when we're in the car together, hubby always has to say, if I'm driving, he always has to say my side or your side. I mean, I do know what my left and right is. I know this is my right and I know this is my left, but when it comes to driving, it just goes. Right, now I'm going to do a B after I've just closed this up. And this could be anywhere. In fact, I'm not going to close this up, am I? Because I want to do the leaf or leaves. Right, come on, which way are you? I think that's it, isn't it? Yep. Okay, so I'll do the leaves and then I'll colour them, then I can take the mask off and then colour the flower. So that's that one. So that's that one for the full colour and that one for the half colour. I would have wild wasabi again. So that's the leaves. Take off to do our flower. Let's bring my scrap back because I want to stamp off once. Now, which way did I say I was going? East, wasn't I? Let's just double check that. Yes. No, west. You're probably falling off your chairs laughing at me, aren't you? I muddle my way through. Did a good job I indicate with my fingers which way east or west, or at least which way I think east or west are. There we go. So at least you know that way. I might call it east, west, whatever. Right, now this one I'm going to do full colour and we're going west. There we go. We'll have yellow for the centre of the flower. And we decided we'd do all that bit, didn't we? There we go. And then crushed curry for our bee. And then do his arms, wings even. There we go. So it looks lovely, doesn't it? Let's move those out of the way because you can see it a bit better then without the distraction. So I am now going to put my card together, and I have already put my tape on the back with my paper piercer. I normally do this the other way round, but for videos, because I can't get my head in the, or I still want to get my head in the camera, I tip it upside down. No, 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 not too soon. No. That wasn't part of the script. Just pulling very slowly. It is coming, trust me. Nearly there. Oh, come on, come on. Oops, that's it. Just pull that bit of pink off. Remove the evidence. There we go. So now that's going to go in there. Let's tip it upside down and do this one. Right, yep. That went on a lot easier. Obviously, if you didn't want to do the stamp the bee, so it's like that, the other way of doing it, the easier way of doing it, is just to stamp a piece on piece of Whisper White and fussy cut it. But you would have to include the antennae with your fussy cutting. Right, see if you can do this first time. That's better, more like it. And then pop that on there. This really is such a beautiful colour, this rose red. Sorry that it's going. having said that, I have to say we've got some fantastic new colours coming in. We've got one that's called something like Soft Sea Foam or something. Beautiful, beautiful pale green colour. Really, really pale. In fact, the name is really a very good name for it. Is it Soft Sea Foam? I've got it written here somewhere. Soft Sea Foam, yes. There we go. Now I need to cover this up, and what I've used on here are our adhesive backed sequins, which come in these colours, and also this, which I can't see where they've gone, but that's alright. Oh, they're up there, which are those there. I think it's really lovely, but I imagine you can see through that, but does it really matter? You can't really see that much, can you? I mean, using a pearl would be better, but that's going to be good for me. I love these sequins. Unfortunately, like a lot of things, they will be retiring. But the good news is there will be new ones coming in, these adhesive backed ones. And the colours that they will be coming in are mint macaroon, pearl white, petal pink, Sahara sand and soft sea foam. Can you just imagine what beautiful colours they're going to be? I'm not so keen on the really bright ones, although if you're using bright what word am I looking for? Designer series paper. They go really well with that. But I tend to be a soft colour person myself. There you go. You wouldn't notice really, would you? I mean, it's still a little bit of a paint bit there. These little pearls that I'm using are left over from the ones that we had that retired last year. I bought up several of the packets before they retired, but I have tested this and it looks just as good with that size pearl, which I believe is the same size as what's available now. There we go. I think it makes so much difference just popping those on there. I think I need one up here somewhere, do I? No, maybe not. Leave it. Come back to it if you want to, but don't do it right now. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. Masking and two-step stamping are both great techniques, and they're easy. I hope you give it a try if you've never done it before. It's just really, really nice to do. Anyway, many thanks for joining me today. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to help you, and I do enjoy reading your comments. If you've enjoyed my video and you would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. I would also put in the box below all the measurements and the products that I've used. As I say, a lot of them are retiring, so if you want them, you really do need to act fast. And if you would like to purchase any of these products, there'll be a link to my 24/7 in the box below the video. And depending on what device you're watching the video on, you will either see on the left-hand side, this one, it'll say show more, which you click on that, or on the right hand side there'll be two arrows, down arrows, and you click on the second one, and whichever device, it'll open the box up and you'll see all of the information in there. Finally, I have started a Facebook group for my subscribers, because a lot of people share their projects with me. They maybe email them to me or private message them to me, and I really do enjoy seeing them, and I always think it's such a shame that I'm the only one who gets to see them. So I've started a Facebook group which is called Happy Crafting, which is no surprises, and I would really love to see you over there. Give it a thought. There'll be a link to the group in the box below. I'd love to see you over there. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.